Alright everybody, welcome back to Conquer and Commander. Today we're going to be looking at my Ghave Guru of Spores Planeswalker based deck for the Pure MTGO Planeswalker week. For the complete deck list, go to Pure MTGO and look up my article series Conquer and Commander. You like my cool little Planeswalker background? Yay, woo, Planeswalkers! The deck list will look like this. It'll be all nice and neat. And you can find it there. This is really a Planeswalker based deck, and Ghave really seemed like a good commander for it. I wanted to avoid using a 5-color control based Planeswalker based deck, so I avoided the Progenitus and all those other guys, mainly because I didn't want to use Obliterate. And I wanted to use as many of the Planeswalkers as I could in the colors available. Ghave here seemed like really one of the best ways to go. I also considered an Esper-based deck using Dromar. Yeah, I just didn't want to do 5-color Planeswalker control. And for my own selfish reasons, I went with Ghave. Ghave provided a couple of different things. The first was that he provided tokens with which to defend my Planeswalkers. Second, he also is in green, which allowed me to use Doubling Season, which is, as you know, very good with Planeswalkers. So, god damn it. So we've got Ghave here, and alright, so I'm going to talk about Ghave first, and then I'm going to talk about the Planeswalkers. Ghave obviously is in the Necro color combination, and he can make Saprolings. Really, that's all I really want to say about Ghave. You know, there's a lot of stuff that works well with Ghave in the deck, but really this is a Planeswalker-based deck. So taking a look at the deck itself here, what I'm going to talk about first, this usually what I do is I when I look at my deck text, I go over deck function, like here are all my card draw spells, here are all my destruction spells, here's all my other crap that I throw in this deck. But really, what I want to do is, this is based upon the mana curve of the deck. The mana curve is important for this deck because it's so Planeswalker heavy. It's not as, I guess, cutthroat or optimal. Optimal is really what the word I'm looking for. It's not as optimal as I want it to be. Or not as I want it to be. It's not as optimal as it could be. Really, what it comes down to is I stuck every single Planeswalker available that would fit in these colors, except for 2. The first one, I'm really going way out of order from what I usually do, is Nissa Ravane. Nissa is really an elf-based creature deck. Oh, I don't even own a Nissa. Alright, fine. And then the other one is Garruk Primal Hunter. Let's take a look at all my Garruks. A bunch of them are in the deck. I don't even have that one either. Or Caller of Beasts. Caller of Beasts is the one that I'm talking about. God, what the hell happened to my... I'm pretty sure I own one of those. Okay, whatever. So let's take a look at the deck itself. It's got a nice little curve, and the Planeswalkers in the deck include Karn Liberated. He is very good at exiling stuff, and he's just a big bad beastie. I did get him out a couple times. I never got him ultimated. We've got Sorin here, and Elspeth, and, you know, I'm doing a really poor way of explaining it. I'm just going to go card by card, going from bottom down. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So, Skeletal Scrying. I don't have I do have a decent amount of card draw, just not a ton. And so Skeletal Scrying worked well because I wasn't really concerned about a whole lot of recursion, but it's in here. Martial Coup is good because, again, with the Planeswalker heavy deck, I'm not really worried about blowing up all my creatures. And it is a token-based deck, so Martial Coup works well. Hornet Queen is good because it's flying, it does a lot of creatures or tokens, and it's defensive. Karn Liberated, I told you already, is good at really exiling permanents. I never got it to Ultimate. Sorin, is good at speeding the deck up. It's not a fast deck. It's actually a pretty slow deck. And Sorin does a good job of knocking people to 10 and dealing with that. Elspeth, Sun's Champion, lots of tokens, can make your dudes. I did get to Ultimate this guy or her a couple times. Austere Command is good at just wiping the board with stuff. Akroma's Vengeance, again, wipes out just about everything except your Planeswalkers. Alright, Vraska. I did get to Ultimate more than... I actually ultimated her more than once, and I did manage to kill everybody with the assassins. She's actually pretty good. Liliana Vess is good at tutoring, never ultimated her. Gideon is good at defending your other Planeswalkers. I did like him a lot. He doesn't really technically have an ultimate, but he was very good, and I liked him. Garruk Primal Hunter, never ultimated him when I played this deck. Is good at defending and card draw. Card draw. I almost never used his +1 ability. I almost always just -3'd him. Alright. Elspeth Terrell is good at wiping the board. I think I drew her like once or twice. Is good at life gain. It is kind of interesting. This deck did need life gain occasionally, and this Elspeth Tyrell is good at it. Doubling Season, obviously awesome with all the Planeswalkers that I use, plus Ghave. So yeah, very good. Catharos Crusade, again, very good with Ghave. Good enough where I used it, or I put it in here even though it doesn't technically help my Planeswalkers. Just a good card overall with Ghave. Academy Rector. Academy almost always went for Doubling Season. I didn't really, with the amount of Planeswalkers I was running, didn't really have enough room for Mirari's Wake. One of the other cards that I could throw in the deck is Mirari's Wake. The Rector's there, and could do that. Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, I drew a lot, and worked really well into the deck. I did have plenty of times where I could have ultimated him, but there was no reason to, because there was not enough dudes out there when I had the opportunity to ultimate him to really take advantage of it. I did use his emblem a couple times as well. This Sorin actually was really good in the deck. Liliana of the Dark Realms, another one that I could have ultimated a couple times, but again, just didn't work out because I either didn't have as many swamps out, or I would rather use the other abilities. She really mainly helped me out with my mana, and did pump up Ghave once or twice to go in for a commander kill. Gideon, Champion of Justice. I never had the opportunity to ultimate him. I didn't draw him that often. I did use him to beat down a couple times. Mainly he was there to soak up damage, honestly. Yeah, that's about it. Garruk Wildspeaker. Everybody knows about Garruk Wildspeaker. He's really good. I never ultimated him. I mainly used him to help me out with my mana. I never used his -1 ability, but it's possible. Garruk Relentless. Meh. I mean, he's not 100% necessary, but he was fun to play with. I flipped him once or twice. He did make tokens. And yeah, he was fine. Elspeth Knight Errant is obviously a very good card. Again, another token maker. did very well like that. A Johnny Goldmane. I thought a Johnny Goldmane would be crappy. A Johnny Goldmane actually worked out pretty well in the deck, you know. I didn't really use him for the life gain ability. I never ultimated him. I only used him for the +1/+1 and the vigilance ability. And the vigilance is really what it came down to. The deck did have the possibility of making a decent amount of tokens. It never made tokens fast, but it was able to, you know, just put tokens out there, and with the minus or the +1/+1 counter ability would make it defensive. Grave Pact, because of the number of tokens, I just needed it for the defensive ability. Wrath of God, again, good with Planeswalkers. Harmonize, I needed to draw Damnation, good with Planeswalkers. The disc I threw in here because, again, it killed everything except for your Planeswalkers, essentially. I drew it once or twice. I never actually played it. It's slow. It is real slow, so there is that. Now we're getting down to the 3-drops. Yavimaya Elder is good at helping out with your mana. Wood Elves mana. Mentor of the Meek, card draw. The deck did need some card draw. And Ghave and Mentor are good card draw. It's not really mana efficient for the most part, but, you know, I did like it. Eternal Witness is your only recursion. You know, sometimes you needed it. Liliana of the Veil. She's actually pretty good. Not necessarily for the discarding ability, but for making people sacrifice stuff. Yeah, I liked her. Johnny might not seem like he... Caller of the Pride might not seem like he actually fit the deck, but again, he was good at putting counters on dudes and then using Ghave to double strike and fly in for commander kills. Phyrexian Arena is good at drawing cards. Awakening Zone, again, makes tokens to defend and helps out with mana. Aura Shards, the deck makes a ton of creatures. Aura Shards is good at coming out and blowing stuff up. Attrition, I never actually drew. Seemed like it'd be good for blowing up creatures. Putrefy is good. Mortify is good. Beast Within is good. This is all Vindicate. All these guys are good at just like blowing stuff up. Kodama's Reach is again mana ramp, mana help. Cultivate, same thing. Mimic Vat seemed good because I did have a decent amount of destruction in the deck, and Mimic Vat helped out with the token theme, doubling season, all that stuff. I used it a decent amount. It ended up working out well. Selesnya Guildmage, again, can pump your tokens and can make tokens. It's not bad, actually. It worked out well in the deck. Scavenging Ooze is small, works out well with doubling season, and is good at wiping out graveyards. Sakura Tribe Elder, Mana Ramp, Kasali Pride Mage, Destruction, Sylvan Library, not necessarily draw, but it is good. Necrogenesis is another token maker, and Hate. Blind Obedience was a very good card. Number one, it extorted so that it could draw cards, or could not draw cards, but could gain life. Number two, it helped out with keeping hasty dudes from killing your planeswalkers. Blind Obedience, very good card. 3 Visits in Nature's Lore were 2 cards that were good at mana ramp. Demonic Tutor. I didn't have very much in the way of tutors, but it was it worked well. And then we have Crime and Punishment. I never drew the card, but it seemed like it'd be really good. Good at making tokens. Good at using stuff from graveyards. I liked it. I thought it was worthwhile. Deathrite Shaman. Mana does. It's just good. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Soul Ring, and Skull Clan. And then it's got 37 lands. Here's the mana curve. You can see it right here. The average CMC of the deck comes out to, I think, 3.3 or 3.4? 3.35. Yeah. So really what it comes down to is, and then I've got all this stuff. The specialty lands are Croson Verge, to help out with getting stuff out. Core Haven for defense. Gavany Township for pumping your tokens. Strip Mine, Mouth of Renown for killing off dudes. And Vault of the Archangel to help out with life linking, gaining life, and death touching stuff. I had plenty of games. I played this deck a ton. I could not, for the life of me, get a replay to work. And the deck actually is a lot of fun. It is not a fast deck. It is a token-based deck. The weaknesses are to flyers, number one, and to Thassa, God of the Sea. Because with Thassa, it can make dudes unblockable. Alright guys, that's it. It was a lot of fun. I appreciated it. It was a good time. Thanks a ton. Watch the deck.